Optimizing your files is the process of making sure your files are of the best quality while keeping the file size as small as possible. The larger a file is, the longer it will take to load on a computer or mobile device. It doesn't matter if the file is an image or an entire web page. In this lesson, we're going to discuss optimization techniques for image files. We'll discover how to export image files and pages, optimize image files, using selective quality, create a sprite sheet, and work with CSS and Fireworks. Before we go any further in this lesson, let's take a minute to review image file formats to help you decide which you should use. JPEG is the best format to use for images such as photographs because it has more colors. This is great for smaller images such as images on a page that accompany text. However, because it's a higher quality format, it also means a larger file size. GIF is the best format to use for graphics. It has 256 colors, which is more than enough for most graphics. PNG is a combination of JPEG and GIF. You should use this for larger images on your site, such as headers, footers, etc. When you export to PNG, you can choose between 32-bit, 24-bit, and 8-bit PNG output. An 8-bit PNG is a lot like a GIF, although it doesn't support frame-based animation. However, it will provide a smaller file size. Whenever you create an image file in Fireworks, you'll have the choice of either saving or exporting the file. When you export a file, the bitmap image is flattened. This means there are no layers, vectors, or objects that can be edited. Plus, since you use the Optimize panel to export, you can control the quality. On the other hand, saving your file using File Save means the file is saved in the original format. Since you can't reach the Optimize panel when you choose Save, you can't change the default settings. However, if you use Save As, you can click the Options button in the Save As dialog box to reach the Optimize panel settings. The Optimize panel lets you choose the format you want to use when you export a single image file, an image slice, or a group of slices. Since each slice in a design can have different optimization settings, you get control over the slice of the web page. If an image or part of a web page doesn't have any slices, you can only use one optimization setting. When you choose the format for your image file in the Optimize panel, you'll see the options for the image format. If you use Fireworks CS6 to design a web page, you'll probably end up with several image files. For the time being, however, we're going to talk about optimizing a single image file that you have either opened or created in Fireworks CS6. Go to the Optimize panel. Now take a look at the document window. In the upper left corner, you'll see the original, preview, 2-up, and 4-up. Preview, 2-up, and 4-up will allow you to view your image in different formats as we start to optimize it. Let's click the Preview button. Go to the Optimize panel and select a format. We've chosen GIF Adaptive 256. Let's take a look at the document area again. We can see our image as it appears with this format. In the bottom left corner of the document area, we can see the file size followed by the download time. Just so you know, 56 kilobits per second would represent the download speed of someone with a very slow dial-up connection. Now go back to the Optimize panel. Select a different file format. Notice the change in quality as well as the change in file size and download speed. Now select 2-up in the document area. This shows you the difference in quality between the original, which is on the left, and your image with the selected file format, which is on the right. Use the pointer tool and click on the image on the right. The right pane will appear with a border around it, which means it's active. If you hold down the spacebar, your cursor will change to a hand, and you can pan the image. Go back to the Optimize panel. To balance quality with a favorable file size, for GIF files, you can change the number of colors in the color drop-down menu. For JPEG files, you can increase or reduce the quality, and for PNG files, you can change the bit. Take the time to experiment with and adjust the different formats and settings in the Optimize panel. If you're an experienced graphic designer, web designer, or even digital photographer, this will probably be easy for you. If you're not, take the time to experiment and learn. Remember, lower compression equals higher quality. Here are some common terms you'll see for different formats in the Optimize panel, along with their definition. Selective quality lets you create a JPEG mask to apply higher quality settings to areas of an image where you want more color definition. To learn about selective quality, go back to the original view. Click on the lasso tool and then go to the Properties panel. If you want, adjust the edge and feather. Next, use the lasso to draw a selection around the area of the image that you want to be higher quality. Next, go to Modify, Selective JPEG, Save Selection as JPEG Mask. The area becomes pink. This is the JPEG mask. Now go to 2-Up View. Select the right pane by clicking on it. You'll see the mask in Original View but not in Preview. Go to the Optimize panel and choose JPEG from the Export File Format list. Adjust Quality and Selective Quality. If you can't adjust selective quality, click the icon to the right of it to display the Selective JPEG Settings dialog box. Put a check mark beside Enable Selective Quality, then click OK. To export an image file, go to File, Export. Make sure Images Only is the selection in the Export field. Enter a name for your file in the File Name field, and then click the Save button. When you want to export a web page design, you can export as HTML in images or CSS in images. When you choose to export as HTML in images, you'll create a table-based HTML layout. However, CSS is more commonly used today and more flexible. You'll find that it'll be hard to edit your page in Dreamweaver because the table structure may break. To export as HTML in images, go to File, Export. Select the following options. Set the export field to HTML in images. Set the HTML field to export HTML file. Set the slices field to export slices if there are any. Put check marks beside Include Areas Without Slices and put Images in Subfolder. Also make sure the current page is selected. Customize any other settings that you need and then click the Export button. A sprite sheet is simply a bitmap file that can store small graphics, including buttons, bullet graphics, and logos. With Fireworks CS6, you can also export sliced graphics as a sprite sheet. To create a sprite sheet, you can go to File, Export, and choose the CSS Sprites option in the Export field. You can also right-click on a slice and choose Export CSS Sprites. Then click the Export button. We're not going to spend too much time on CSS in this course because CSS is a huge topic all on its own. However, we do want to give you a few basic tips if you want to export to CSS and images. Keep everything as simple as you can in terms of design and slices. If you want to export to CSS and images, try to avoid overlapping slices. If you overlap slices, Fireworks will export an absolute positioned layout. Also, keep in mind that only rectangles, text, and image slices are exported. Any images that you want exported must be sliced. If you want text to remain as HTML, it should not be sliced. And use rectangles to create CSS containers. Fireworks used to export every visual element as a bitmap. However, exporting so many bitmaps into a file can create large file sizes and swallow up a lot of bandwidth. That's not the case anymore though. By using the CSS Properties panel, you can extract the CSS properties of objects, properties such as drop shadows, transform, etc. The top part of the panel will list the attributes of a shape or text that can be turned into CSS. The bottom part shows the declarations as they'll be written. If you click All, Fireworks will copy everything to the clipboard. To create a CSS rule, you'll need Dreamweaver where you can paste the rules from the clipboard as a new CSS rule definition. It's important to remember that Fireworks is a prototype and design tool, whereas Dreamweaver is a web editing tool. The CSS Properties panel is meant for those who want to use Fireworks in conjunction with Dreamweaver.